YouTube fam, what is up? It's been a little bit since the last video. So this video, I'm gonna take you guys through me basically falling in the river. Sadly, I didn't have my GoPro rolling when I actually fell in the river. I wasn't really even planning on making this video until that happened when I fell in, because I was just hitting the river. I was gonna go fish. I did end up catching one, but as soon as I fell in the river, I thought it was pretty funny. Might be a fun story. I got this new setup that I was using on the river, and I'll show you guys. Basically, I got that new Echo Shadow 2 fly fishing rod that I set up a little bit different. Normally, I just have the long leader, and I have two nymphs on the end. Well, last time I was out there, I couldn't catch anything. I couldn't get those flies down to the bottom. That's where the fish are right now. They stay usually down to the bottom, and I just didn't have enough time, and they weren't heavy enough to drop down to the bottom. And my buddy used a heavier one, and he hooked up on a nice brown trout. So I figured I would do this setup this time. Same idea with both those two flies, but on the bottom of my point fly, I decided to tie a really thin piece of leader line that was not very strong, and go about 5 to 6 inches down and do a drop shot. So it was basically a small weight, and clamp it on there on the bottom. So this would basically drag my flies farther to the bottom, get to those fish, and we could hook up. So in doing that, it was working. I was getting a tight line, tight line nymphing, and it was working. Everything was good, but I hadn't hooked up yet. So I was only out there for like 30, 40 minutes, and I was kind of moving up the river. Start down here, and you start moving up, and you kind of hit all of the pockets, and you just keep moving. And so I was scooting up. I went to get on this rock. And as you see right here, actually, these are my boots. They're a little bit muddy, but these are my boots. There's no metal on the bottom of these. They actually make boots that have these metal, kind of like studs on the bottom, so you can walk on the rocks on the river a lot easier, because there's a lot of just the slippery, a lot of algae and stuff like that you kind of slip on. Anyway, I decided to jump up on this rock. I kind of didn't want to fall forward because it was a pretty big drop into water, like 4 to 5 feet of water in front. And behind me, I was probably up to like my quads. So I get up there, almost fell forward, kind of leaned, and my foot slipped, and I had to go back this way. I fell back, put my right foot in the water over here. My left foot came down in the water, but I was coming down so far on my left side, I put my entire left arm and everything in the water. And I was wearing my waders. You can see my waders probably go like right above kind of my pecs. So my whole left arm was soaked, which in the video of me catching the fish, you'll be able to see my whole entire long sleeve was soaked. And I fell all the way over, got water in my waders in this pocket, which my waders are upside down right now because they're drying, or they were drying. So it looks like this, right? In this pocket was my phone, my Tesla key, fishing license, but it was with like that. I put that in like a waterproof box with my flies. So that was okay. But my phone got wet, my key got wet, so I had to take them out and put them in a different pocket. I ended up getting the water out. The phone was fine, the keys were fine, and everything like that. But man, it really just I freaked out for a second because I was falling, and then I fell over and everything just got soaked. I was like, man, I've been here for like 30, 40 minutes, haven't caught a fish, and I just fell in the water. Luckily, I didn't fall forward to the deep part, because those waders basically go all the way down your legs. Like you get in them like a onesie, and then you have your boots. So water can get down there, and if it does, it's basically just gonna hold you and weigh you down. Not super worried about it on the river. More of the lakes where it gets really, really deep, really, really fast is more of an issue. But anyway, so it was a little bit scary, a little bit sketchy. Fell over, I was like, man, well, I can't go and change because I hike about half a mile, which really is not far, but every time you go fish, you got to park, you load up all your stuff, you kind of hike through this like hiking trail, and then you got to go through a lot of shrub and brushes and trees and duck and dive and kind of get through all this shrub and stuff to get to the river. And then I walk from there up the river also. So it's a decent walk, especially when you're carrying all that stuff. And I don't bring like extra clothes, so I couldn't change. So I was like, whatever. And I probably just scared all of the fish away too. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna try and just fish this spot anyway, because why not? And literally like 2 casts later, I hooked into this pretty nice rainbow, and so I was super stoked. So as you can see in my video of hooking up with this fish, my long sleeve is super wet and dripping, but we ended up getting one, so super cool. Yeah, buddy, we got a pretty one. Yeah. Like I said, pretty stoked. I got the fish hooked up after falling in the river. But yeah, we live to fish another day, you guys. Make sure you guys comment down below what your guys' hobbies are. Maybe I can jump into some of those. Maybe I already have jumped into some of those. These fishing, I know it might be boring for a lot of you, but these fishing videos are just kind of the hobby I'm doing right now. Things are kind of heating up. Well, actually it's getting colder, so the fishing will be heating up kind of, because out at Pyramid, when it gets colder, that's when the better fish kind of come into shore, and that's when I can actually probably get some decent sized fish. But I mean, we've got like mountain biking, we got snowboarding coming up. I'm planning a snowboarding trip with a buddy of mine. We've got overnight hiking, we've got camping, we've got backpacking trips, we've got all this cool stuff, road biking, running, just a lot of cool stuff. So comment your hobbies down below. I want to check them out. I want to see what you guys are into, and hopefully you guys are enjoying these. So thank you guys. We will see you in the next one.